Good morning, my dear students. Welcome you all to today's physics class. In the last class, we discussed Fleming's left-hand rule and one activity. Now today, we are moving to the topic electric motor. So first of all, what is an electric motor or what is a motor? As a motor is a device which converts electrical energy into mechanical energy, isn't it? So electrical energy can be converted to mechanical energy with the help of an electric motor. Okay, so you know electric motors are commonly used in electric fans, washing machines, refrigerators, then mixer, grinder, electric cars and many other appliances, isn't it? So in all these appliances, electric motor is used, and with the help of electric motor, by supplying suitable electrical energy, it can be converted into which form of energy? Mechanical energy. Okay, so before moving to the working of electric motor, we have to study the principle of an electric motor. So first of all, we have to discuss the principle of an electric motor. So for discussing the principle of motor, first of all I will show you the diagram for the electric motor, then you will understand it. Here you can see a rectangular coil in the middle, and it is placed between two poles of a magnet. Okay. So a motor works on the principle that when such a rectangular coil is placed in a magnetic field, here you know, since there are two poles, there will be magnetic field starting from north towards the south pole, isn't it? So when a rectangular coil is placed in a magnetic field and if current is passed through it, a force acts on the coil which helps to rotate it continuously. Understand? So in the last class, we have discussed an activity in which you understood that when a current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field, it experiences a force, isn't it? So continuous force will result in the rotation. So that's the same principle only here we are using in the case of a motor. Here we are taking a rectangular coil. It may be of insulated copper wire or something. Okay. So such a coil is placed between the poles of a magnet so that there is magnetic field. Now when current is passed to the rectangular coil, since it is in a magnetic field, it will experience a force. As a result, what will happen? Yes, because of the force, the coil will rotate continuously. Clear? So how can you explain the principle? It works on the principle that when a rectangular coil is placed in a magnetic field and current is passed through it, a force acts on the coil which helps to rotate it continuously. Clear? So this is the principle of motor. Now moving to the construction of a motor, we have to understand what all parts are there in a motor and what is the function of each part in such an electric motor. Okay, so let us move to the function or the parts of a electric motor. Clear? So an electric motor consists of a rectangular coil ABCD. You can see it in the figure. You can name it like ABCD. And it is made up of insulated copper wire. Okay. This rectangular coil is made up of insulated copper wire. Now where is it placed? It is placed between the curved poles of a horseshoe magnet. And it is placed in such a way that it can rotate freely between the poles north and south. Okay, this much clear? So an electric motor consists of a rectangular coil which is made up of insulated copper wire. It is mounted between the poles of a horseshoe magnet and is placed in such a way that it can rotate freely between the poles north and south on a shaft. What is a shaft? Shaft means it is a long cylindrical rotating rod at the center of the coil, but it cannot be shown in the figure. Okay, so on a shaft this particular coil is placed in such a way that it can rotate freely between the poles of the magnet. Clear? Now you can see the two sides of the coil, that is, let it be AB and CD. Okay, AB and CD, and it is kept perpendicular to the direction of magnetic field between the poles of the magnet. You know, the magnetic field, the direction of magnetic field is always from north to south, isn't it? From left to right, from north to south. And here the rectangular coil, you can assume a book which is placed between the poles like this. Okay, then what about the direction in which it is placed? As you can see that the sides, the two sides AB and CD of the coil are perpendicular to the direction of magnetic field between the poles of the magnet, isn't it? This is done so that the maximum magnetic force is exerted on the sides AB and CD. That means if you are placing the current carrying coil perpendicular to the direction of magnetic field, you know that it exerts a force because it is current carrying conductor and is placed in a magnetic field. But the force that it is exerting will be maximum. Understand? Because it is 90 degree perpendicular to each other. This much clear. Now you can see a device there which we call it as the split ring, and this device reverses the direction of current through a circuit which we also call it as the commutator. Understand? A device which reverses the direction of current through a circuit is called a commutator. In this motor we are using a split ring for the purpose. Okay, you can see the split rings there. They are X and Y in the figure. Okay. So these two ends of the coil are soldered permanently to the two half rings X and Y of a commutator. Clear? The two ends of the coil are soldered means welded. Okay. Permanently to the two half rings X and Y of a commutator. Here actually this commutator is a copper ring and it is split here into two parts. They are X and Y. These two parts are insulated from one another and mounted on the shaft of the motor. Clear? These two half rings are insulated from one another and mounted on the shaft of the motor. Now in the figure you can see the end A of the coil is welded to part X of the commutator and end D of the coil is welded to the part Y of the commutator. You can see in the diagram, right? Now the commutator rings are mounted on the shaft of the coil and they also rotate when the coil rotates. Understand? So when you are applying a magnetic field to this current carrying coil, you know it will rotate. When this coil rotates, the commutator rings which are mounted on the shaft of the coil also rotate. Okay, as we already said, the function of commutator rings is to reverse the direction of current flowing through the coil every time the coil just passes the vertical position during a revolution. Understand? So what does it mean? Here we are using split rings which actually work the function of a commutator. So what is a commutator? Commutator is a device which is able to reverse the direction of current. In the case of this coil, what is happening is each time or every time the coil just passes the vertical position during a revolution, this commutator will function. This much clear. Or you can say, in other words, the commutator rings reverse the direction of current flowing through the coil after every half rotation of the coil. Understand? After every half rotation of the coil. Is it clear for you, dear students? Suppose you consider this book. This is a small book, okay? This book as the coil, rectangular coil. Now in the figure you can see this book is placed like this, and from north to south. Here it is north, here it is south. So from north to south the magnetic field is acting like this. Clear? Now I already told that the direction of magnetic field is perpendicular to the direction of what? Direction of the rectangular coil placed there. Isn't it? Because rectangular coil is like this, and from north to south the magnetic field is like this. So both are perpendicular. Why we are placing so? Because we will get the force which it is exerted as the maximum value. Maximum force it can experience there if you are placing in such a situation. Understand? Now I told that we have placed a split ring there, and what is the function of split ring? As it will reverse the direction of current flowing through the coil after every half rotation. For example, if this is the coil, it start to rotate like this. Okay, it will rotate like this, and when it reaches this position, it actually came to its half rotation. Okay, now again if it is moving like this and coming back to the first position, we can call it as one revolution or one rotation. Understand? Clear? So the function of split ring is to reverse the direction of current flowing through it when you are rotating this particular rectangular coil to its half rotation. So each time when it had its half rotation, what will happen? The split ring will reverse the direction of current flowing through the rectangular coil. Understand? So once again, as you can see in the diagram, the electric motor consists of a rectangular coil ABCD. It is made up of insulated copper wire. Okay, it is mounted between the pole pieces of a horseshoe magnet. Then here you can see a shaft on which this rectangular coil is placed. It is able to rotate. Now here you can see X and Y, which we call it as the split rings. Function of split ring is to reverse the direction of current flowing through the rectangular coil during its half rotation. Then there are, you can see here the battery wires cannot be directly connected to the two commutator half rings to pass current into the coil. Why? You can see here two strips like this P and Q. With the help of this P and Q, this connecting wire is connected to the commutator ring. Why we are placing P and Q here, which we call it as the brushes? Why? Because if you are directly connecting this wire to the half rings, this during its rotation, the connecting wires will get twisted. Understand? During its rotation, the connecting wires will get twisted. So that's why here we are connecting two copper strips we call it as P and Q, and they are known as brushes. It is actually made up of not copper, carbon strips. Sorry, carbon strips. Okay. So carbon brushes P and Q. It is fixed to the base of the motor and they press lightly against the two half rings of the commutator. And here you can see a battery. Battery is used to supply current to the coil, which is connected to the two carbon brushes P and Q with the help of a switch. So this is actually the construction of a motor. Mainly two pole pieces, then a rectangular coil connected to a shaft, then half split rings which we call as commutator, reversing the direction of current. That is the function. One more question. Then the commutator is connected to the battery with the help of carbon strips, we call here as brushes, and the name it is given there, P and Q are the carbon brushes. Again it is connected with the help of a key. Understand? So this is all about the construction of a motor. Okay. So how will you explain the function of carbon brushes? It is to make contact with the rotating rings of the commutator and through them to supply current to the coil. So main function of these brushes is to supply current to the coil. It is placed in contact with the commutator rings. Okay, and it should be noted that any one brush touches only one ring at a time, so that when the coil rotates, the two brushes will touch both the rings one by one. Okay, here at a time this brush can touch only one ring. So when the coil rotates, the two brushes will touch both the rings one by one. Understand? Okay. Now we will move to the working of the motor. Please be careful while I explain. Okay. So when an electric current is passed into the rectangular coil, with the help of this battery, current is passed to the rectangular coil ABC. The current the current passing through the coil produces a magnetic field around the coil. Isn't it? Yes. The magnetic field of this magnet then interacts with the magnetic field of the current carrying coil and it causes the coil to rotate. These are all basics that we have discussed in the last class. That means with the help of battery and key, we are supplying current to the rectangular coil. When current is passing through it, it will behave like a magnet. Also here there is influence of north and south pole, so there is another magnetic field also. So both the fields will interact themselves, and as a result the force is experienced by the rectangular coil which will make it rotate. Isn't it? Now suppose you assume that this coil ABCD is in a horizontal position. Now on pressing the key, current from the battery enters the coil through the carbon brush P and the commutator half ring X. Isn't it? So from here current is moving and the current will reach the carbon brush P, then towards the commutator ring X. This much clear? So what will happen? The current starts to flow in this direction. That is from A to B, then from B to C, then from C to D. That is in the direction A, B, C, D, and leaves via the ring Y and brush Q. Like this it will come back. Okay. So in the side AB of the rectangular coil ABCD, the direction of current is from A to B. Okay. Direction of current is from A to B. And in the side CD of the coil, what will happen? The current is moving like this, right? Current is moving like this. then going like this and coming like this in this direction. So direction of current is from C to D. So here it is A to B entering, and here it is leaving from C to D. The direction of magnetic field is from North Pole to South Pole. Direction of magnetic field is from North Pole to South Pole. Okay. So by applying Fleming's left hand rule, you have studied the rule, Fleming's left hand rule, in which you know the three fingers of left hand are stretched in such a way, that is a thumb, forefinger and middle finger are stretched in a mutually perpendicular direction. Then the forefinger will give you the direction of magnetic field. Then middle finger will give you the direction of current. Then the direction of force can be found from the direction of thumb. Okay. So here also we are applying Fleming's left hand rule. So as you know, from A to B, current is passing in the upward direction. Then the direction of magnetic field is from north to south. So what about the direction of force? Or to what direction the rectangular coil will move? That is what we are finding here. So you can stretch now. Stretch your forefinger towards in the direction of magnetic field like this, because you know here you have the North Pole and here you have the South Pole. So from north to south you have the direction of magnetic field, isn't it? Now you know the direction of the current passing through the side AB. In which direction? As it is in the upward direction, isn't it? So how will you place your middle finger? As you know, your magnetic field is in this direction, that is from north to south. Now current in the upward direction, so you have to place like this. You can see, isn't it? The current in the upward direction, like this you have to place. Then what about the thumb? As now you can see thumb in the downward direction, isn't it? Because 3 should be in mutually perpendicular direction. So when you place magnetic field with the help of forefinger like this, now the middle finger in the upward direction, that is from A to B current is moving. A to B current is moving. So what about the thumb? Now you can see thumb in the downward direction. So what does it mean? As it means that the side AB is pushed downwards. The side AB is pushed downwards and the side CD is moving upward. Clear? So this is your ABCD. Okay, this is your side A, then B. Okay, then here it is C and finally it is D. Okay, now starting the current was flowing from A to B. So at that time you placed the direction of your middle finger in the direction of current, because current is passing from A to B. So how will you place your middle finger? Yes, middle finger should be placed like this in the upward direction, isn't it? Now what about the direction of magnetic field? The magnetic field is moving from where to where? As it is from north to south, because pole pieces are there on both sides, from north to south. So you got the magnetic field direction and the direction of current. Now you can see that your thumb is pointing in the downward direction, which means that your AB, the side AB of the coil will go like this, go downwards, understand? And side CD will come in the upward direction like this. Okay, so this AB side will go downward and CD will come like this. Is much clear? So as I told, the AB side is going down, okay, and the CD side is coming up. Now when this particular coil reaches its vertical position like this, when it reaches like this, the brushes, we told that there are two brushes P and Q, they will touch the gap between the two commutator rings and current to the coil is cut off. So when it reaches its vertical position, the brushes P and Q will touch the gap, okay, between the commutator rings and current to the coil is cut off. Though the current to the coil is cut off, when it is in the exact vertical position, the coil does not stop rotating because it has already gained a momentum due to which it goes beyond the vertical position. Understand? We will call it as an inertia, right? If it is moving, it has a tendency to move even though the current is off for a very short while. So when it reaches its vertical position, first the coil was like this, then it turned like this. Now this coil is in the vertical position, and at that time what will happen is the brush will reach this gap. When it reaches the gap, there is no connection and the current is cut off, but still it will move beyond the vertical position. Why? Because it has a momentum with which it is coming, right? Then after half rotation, when the coil goes beyond the vertical position, you can understand that this CD will come on the left side and AB will come to the right side, isn't it? Because half rotation means like this it will move. Like this it has to move. That is, AB will come like this, then vertical position finally like this. Now you can see CD on this side and AB on this side. So that is half rotation. So when it reaches the half rotation, what will happen? I already told that there are half rings, split rings, which have the function of commutator, and these split rings will change the contact from one brush to another. These split rings will change the contact from one brush to another. So after half rotation of the coil, the commutator half ring makes contact with this Y will make contact with P, and this X will make contact with Q. So what will happen? The direction will get reversed. Okay, so this reverses the direction of current, and the reversal of direction of current reverses the direction of forces acting on the arms AB and CD. Got it? So after half rotation, CD will come here, AB will go there. So what will happen? When the direction is reversed, again the direction of force is reversed. That means if CD is here, the current will pass from C to D. Now in the case of AB, it will be from B to A in the downward direction. So in such a way, the coil is, the side CD of the coil is pushed down. Again, by applying Fleming's left hand rule, you can find it. So side CD will be pushed down as well as side AB will be pushed up. So this makes the coil rotate anti-clockwise by another half rotation. Understand? So the reversing of current in the coil is repeated after every half rotation, due to which the coil continues to rotate as long as the current from the battery is passed through it. Okay, so each time when the current is reversed, the coil will rotate. Repeated rotation will happen there as long as we are supplying current from the battery. Okay, now it should be noted that the current flowing in the other two sides, that is in the side AD as well as BC of the rectangular coil, is parallel to the magnetic field. So no force acts on these two sides. That the details you will study in your 12th class. Okay, since this AD and BC are parallel to the direction of magnetic field, they will not experience any force. Only these two sides AB and CD, which are perpendicular to the direction of magnetic field, will be exerting or experiencing maximum force. Okay, so this is all about the working. Understand? First we discuss the principle, then we discuss the construction, finally we move to the working. Once again, you have two poles, then a rectangular coil placed perpendicular to the direction of magnetic field. It is connected to a shaft, rotating shaft. So whenever the coil rotates with the help of current and magnetic field, this is able to rotate. Now here there are two half rings are connected, or split rings, which have the function of commutator, which means to reverse the direction of current during each half rotation. Then here you have two strips, carbon strips, which are connected to the terminals of the battery, because these strips are provided in order to have, or in order to pass current to the coil. Because if you are directly connecting this wire to the commutator ring, during its rotation the wire gets twisted, so that we are connecting brushes or carbon strips named as P and Q. So this is all about the construction. Now what about the working? At first we are passing current through this side, that is from A to B. You can see here it is positive here and negative here, so direction of current is from A to B. Then it will pass like this, B to C, then C to D, and finally to this side, isn't it? So when it passed through A to B, what will happen? According to Fleming's left hand rule, if you are stretching the fingers of your left hand like thumb, middle finger and forefinger, you can identify, or you can find the direction of force towards this side is moving. So that by applying the rule, you could understood that this side AB will go down as well as CD will come up. Now when it reaches the vertical position, due to the momentum, even though this particular brush reaches the gap, the current is cut off, but it will move because of its momentum, like inertia, we call it as that. Then after moving, it reaches its half rotation. At that time CD will come here, AB will go there. So direction is reversed with the help of split rings. So as a result, what will happen is, it will again, this CD will have the force towards the downward direction and AB is pushed up. Likewise, this will continue to rotate. Now you understood, we applied, or we supplied electrical energy with the help of a battery, but finally we got mechanical energy because of its movement, isn't it? So electrical energy is converted to which energy? Mechanical energy, with the help of an electric motor. So this is all about the working. So here we have to discuss a few things, that is, we just described the construction and working of a simple electric motor, and in commercial motors the coil is actually wound over a soft iron core. When we discussed electromagnet also, we used the term soft iron. Why we are using soft iron? I told that the soft iron will get easily magnetized and it increases the strength of magnetic field. So here also in commercial motors we will use a soft iron core. Okay, so this makes the motor more powerful, and the coil contains a large number of turns. If you are increasing the number of turns, also the magnetic field will get increased. Okay, so these are all methods to increase the strength of the magnetic field. Then the coil contains a large number of turns of the insulated copper wire. Now we can use a powerful electromagnet in the place of permanent magnet here. Okay, this is supposed to be a permanent magnet, all pieces of a permanent horseshoe magnet, but we can use an electromagnet also. It will be more powerful. Then these all these features together help in increasing the power of the commercial electric motors. Okay, so this is all about the working of electric motor. Now read the text clearly. Okay, read it thoroughly and try to prepare notes. And if you have any doubt, you have to contact me. So have a nice day and thank you.